Good morning, everyone. Steve Murray here with Insurance Agency Marketing Services. Had a little technical delay here this morning, so I'm going to zip through some things here really quick so that we can stay on track. Thank you all for joining us. We're really pleased that you've taken some time out of your schedule to learn a little bit about the opportunities around Social Security claiming to meet more clients and to help your current clients. Our presenter today, main presenter, will be Dave Pimper. Dave is the coach for Lazarus Coaching. My name is Steve Murray. My job here at Insurance Agency Marketing Services is to make sure we've got the right things to help you grow your business. And some of that, it comes down to just kind of training aspects and some marketing aspects of the business. And that's what we're going to talk mostly about today. So let's just zip through a couple of things. Most of you, I'm looking at our group here, most of you are familiar with these two programs. Take advantage of them. If you have a individual that is interested in getting some of the benefits of doing business with IAMS that you are, whether it's products or training or seminars or incentives or any of our programs, refer them our way. And remember, any business that you do with IAMS, money goes into your marketing reimbursement account. There's about 6 or 8 of you on here today that are brand new with us, and then some others that are probably still within their first 180 days of being with us. I know that most of you obviously have been with us for a while. So, but for those of you that are still within your first 180 days, take advantage of these programs to help grow your business. You can see there's different levels that you can claim at. You can get anything from cash to get you into the seminar business, to get you in the radio business, to get you, all set up in the full online persona built that includes website and SEO and marketing and everything you need. So there's a lot of different things that we can do to help you there. Take advantage of us doing it all at our cost. Great back office support here. All of you folks know that already. You're going to get your commission. You're going to get your business in and out quicker here than any place else. You're not going to have to worry about it. Our team is going to be there for you all along the way, keeping you informed so that you can do what you do, which is the right business, and we do what we do, which is get it through the pipeline and make sure that you get paid. We did recently add Firelight to our services, and Firelight is the system that a lot of companies use for e-app. What we did was we put a single sign-on on our website. So what that means is you can just go to our website, and any companies that you do business with, you can just do it all through our website. So you don't have to worry about knowing a bunch of sign-ons. You can go on and do whatever carriers that you want to do, mostly on the annuity side, through that single sign-on. So if you haven't gone on and registered for Firelight, it's a pretty simple process. I'm going to skip through that really quick, and I'll show you where that is in a moment. But in the meantime, I'm going to tell you a little bit about our internal advertising team. We'll call it Creative Marketing Solutions. Bottom line is there, you've got a bunch of folks, 6 people now, that basically work as your internal advertising team. We do everything that we can for you at little or no cost. We work only with folks just like you that are looking to build their business in the independent advisor marketplace. So we have a bunch of stuff that's kind of pre-done for you, but we can also do some great custom stuff. We can help you with your marketing. There's really no end to what they could do. And of course, they're already in our business, know what we do and how we do it. So when you start looking at having that at your fingertips and having a sales director that kind of help work your way through that, that's a very, very great benefit. And a lot of guys, even for the cost items, if you need business cards and all that stuff, you use your marketing reimbursement. We pay for that way. So a great part of being part of the IAMS team. So here's the front page of our website. We've got some great stuff out there. I mentioned Firelight earlier. If you go out to our website and tune into the part that says e-app solutions and go down to the first tab there, it says Firelight registration. Go to that, register real quick, and it takes us about 5 or 7 minutes to see that and get you approved. Then you can begin doing all your apps with all your carriers through one single site on our website. Nice thing about that is if you're doing an application with American Equity and you're doing this application for the same person with Athene, you can just copy all that information from one app to the other. It'll pre-fill it all for you and really makes your life easier. That information holds in the system for a while as well, so you can continue. If 6 months later you want to go back and write a new piece of business on the same client, you can basically take and pre-fill that. Saves you a lot of time, and of course right now in the social distance world that we're living in, really nice feature. But this is some of the other things you can see on our website. If you haven't looked at our website lately, call your sales director up and say, hey, walk me through what's going to be on there that can be helpful to me. We've got the sales resource library that hardly anyone that has seen that is amazed by all the tools that are on there. And so if you're out there and you need some sample documents, or you need some great sales ideas, or you need something to send to your client, that there's just no end to the stuff that's in that sales resource library. Have your sales director walk you through that. We've been seeing a real surge in the retirement analyzer here lately, and the reason for that is, I think, is because more and more guys are within our organization. We've had it for the last 8 or 10 years, but over the past 2 or 3 years, guys within our organization have been talking about it to each other. Of course, we make it available at no cost to guys doing business with us, so that's certainly a great benefit. But when you see how that works and can build your rapport with your client, it's a really comprehensive way to help your client realize where they are in their retirement journey that includes things like Social Security and their investments and things like that. So if you have interest in taking advantage of looking at that and seeing how it works, maybe having Marcus take the time to walk you through it a little bit, and then you can go out and maybe do one on yourself, see how it looks, or do one on a client just to see how it looks. You'll be pleased and I think amazed, and you'll say, hey, this is something that I want to show my clients. And what, by the way, it's free, because we are going to take care of that cost if you're doing business. And even if you're not doing business with us, we'll let you look at it, help you through it, and try it for a few times, maybe give you 30, 60 days to see if it's a good fit for you. We've got a great RIA here, IAMS Wealth Management. They do a great job. Charles and the gang over there running that thing first rate. I'm going to throw up a quick poll up here. I just want to get your feedback, and I appreciate you giving me your feedback as quickly as possible. So here's what I would say is, if you are thinking about getting Series 65 and maybe need some help with that process, give the folks, put yes on this poll, and the folks at IAMS Wealth Management, because they'll walk you through, hey, how to order the materials, and give you kind of a syllabus for studying to get you through it. So if you say, hey, I want to do it in the next 3 weeks, they'll get you a syllabus, kind of, hey, this is what you need to do. This is your timeline, and keep you kind of on task there. You say, hey, I want to get it next 6 months, they'll build it for you out that way. So they do a great job with helping people get that license if they don't have it. Here's where they excel for folks, for those of you out there that do have it. So this is what I'm hearing back from the field in general, is that our fees, IAMS Wealth Management fees, are a little bit less than what guys come to expect, and they're getting a whole lot more for them. So obviously it includes E&O, but it also includes things like a database and a website. Of course, the support is unbelievable over there. So if you're unhappy with your support, you think your fees are too high, put yes on that, spend 5 minutes with them, see if they can save you some money or some time. Also, if you are looking at where you're currently at and you're not happy with your payout for whatever reason, our payouts are just a skosh over 1%. And remember that we do not then take that through a grid. So you know that if you're working through a lot of RIAs, they might say, hey, our payout's 1%. And by the way, you get 60% of that, or 70% of that, or 80% of that, or even 90% of that. That's still not as good as what IAMS Wealth does, which is they give you 100% of that. So a great feature to do in business with IAMS Wealth. If either of those might be of interest, put yes. If not, put no on that poll. I appreciate that. Finally, as I mentioned earlier, they're built on a similar service model to IAMS, so we're very high touch on the service side. Keep very close to our advisors, making sure that we're doing everything to help them, and that makes a difference. Working your way through some of the technicalities of working with some of the platforms. If you're out there on your own doing it and you're working with people's money, that can be a little intimidating. We've got people to walk you through that and help you through that process step by step by step. Glad to do it. We also have a individual we hired here recently that is really good on the sales side. It can help you through the kind of the nuances of working with clients and with managed assets. So if any of those is of interest, put yes on that poll. Some of you have not voted. It looks like 8 or 10 of you have not voted yet, which is fine. I'm going to assume that those are no's unless you vote here the next minute or two with a yes. I'm going to close this poll out. And it may be, if you can't vote, that's fine. Just dial me at 800-255-5055. If I need to put you in touch with those folks, I certainly can. So thank you all for answering. Oh, well, I got everybody voting quick. Thank you for that. I'm going to close that poll out. Like I said, if it's a matter of you weren't able to vote, just dial us. I'll chat you my phone number here shortly, but it's 800-255-5055. I'm going to close that out. Here we go. You can tell I'm moving along fast. I want to value your time here. We got the Life and Annuity Academy. So we've had to delay those, obviously, in the social distance situation and the lack of travel that we're in right now. So we had 2 scheduled, the second one for May. We've delayed that one as well. We're still going to try and get 3 of them in this year. So if you have interest in joining us for an academy, I want you to let me know. I'm going to make it easy again. Just put yes on this poll. You can see what you can do there. We've got 4 top producers that are going to be joining you there. We'll talk about what's going on in the industry. We're going to talk a lot about there's a lot happening right now in the world, in the financial world, that's going to affect your business going forward. Some of that has to do with where rates are headed. Some of it has to do with how riders are going to perform. So we're going to spend some time on that. Otherwise, we don't spend a lot of time on product. We're really going to spend more time on sales, marketing, and how you get in front of more people and how you perfect your sales process so that you can do more business. So if that's something that might be of interest to you, let me know by hitting a yes on that. And if you do hit yes, we take care of your expenses, by the way. So we're going to take care of your travel. We're going to take care of your hotel. We're going to take care of your meals and social affairs as well while you're here with us. And we'll have those in various locations, Omaha, Des Moines, probably do one down south as well. And we'll just call you up. If you hit yes on that, you're going to get a registration form. If you send that registration form back after you look at the itinerary, the hour by hour itinerary, you say, hey, that's something I'm interested in. You put yes on that registration, send it in. And then what that means is that we'll call you as we're planning these over the end of 2020 and into 2021 and see if it fits into your schedule and see if it fits into your geographics a little bit. So if that's of interest, put yes. If you're not sure, probably want to put yes and at least get a little bit more information. If that's something you've done with us already or done in the last couple of years, I would ask that you put no on that and give me a call. Again, you see my number there. You probably don't see it because it pulls up, but it's 800-255-5055. Thank you all for voting so quickly there. I appreciate that. I'm going to close that poll out again. We've got about the same number. It looks like maybe 6 or 8 of you that have not been able to vote consistently. Give me a call and I'll be glad to send you out those forms if that's something that you want to see. I don't want to have this voting issue limit you from being able to attend one of our academies. Tooling right along, I want to tell you about a couple of opportunities we have for incentive trips coming up. This is the first one. It's going to be on August 26th to 29th. We're going to go down to Cabo San Lucas. You can see the picture there. That's a beautiful property. It's a montage property. It sits on really one of the great swimmable beaches in the Cabo area. You can see kind of how it lays out there. It's a great property and a great location. The only way you can qualify for that is by doing your theme business with IAMS. So it's a trip that we do in cooperation with them. And so if you're doing your theme business through IAMS, you can qualify and join us down there in Cabo if you do enough business. It takes about $3 million of premium. And the good news is that, by the way, that same premium also qualifies you towards joining us. And this is both trips are for you and your guests for joining us down in Puerto Vallarta. And we'll be going down there early next year, March 7th through the 11th. It takes just 3.5 million. So if you qualify for one, you're likely to qualify for both. So I'm going to turn my mic up. I understand we've got a little bit of a volume issue. Hopefully that helps some. So if that is, if you qualify for the Athene IAMS trip and do 3 million, then you only need another 500,000, and you've got another 6 months to do it to qualify you and your guests for this trip. So it's kind of a 2-for-1 deal for you. And this is an all-inclusive, beautiful property down in Puerto Vallarta. And for those of you that have higher production aspirations, we also have a tag trip to go to a beautiful 4 Seasons in Putamita, and that will be a tag trip to the Puerto Vallarta trip, and that will be March 11th through the 14th. So you'll effectively be gone, you and your guests will be gone out of for about 8 days, including stay and travel in some really beautiful locations and taken care of very well. So love to have you join us for those. So you see the number there before you. If you could reply to me, if you're still having trouble hearing, if you'd let me know that, and I'll see if I need to readjust my mic here again. But our number here is 800-255-5055. My name is Steve Murray. I look forward to you giving me a call. So now I'm going to go. Dave, are you with us?
Absolutely.
Hey, are you having trouble hearing me?
Hey. I was, yeah, but you're hearing good. Yeah, you sound good now. For a while you were cutting in and out, but you've corrected it, so it sounds wonderful.
Thank you. So let's get started here this morning. So I gave you a little introduction today, but what I didn't tell you is he's been in the business since the really early 80s, done 500 plus seminars now, which is a lot. I don't care who you are, that's a lot of seminars. That's a lot of standing in front of people. He's been doing that for years and years. More recently, of course, he's been doing digital workshops and seen some success there. What he's going to talk about today is how you can help your clients with your current clients with understanding Social Security benefits. Really important part of being a valuable advisor to them. Absolutely true. But he's also going to tell you, and I think maybe more importantly to a lot of people on the line, how you can develop relationships with new clients with your understanding of Social Security and our help in getting a good, solid group of people in front of you, whether that's in person or digitally. So with that, Dave, I'm going to turn it over to the coach, Mr. Dave Pimper.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Steve. And let's see if we can go in and yeah, I think this is going to work just fine. Make sure I can jump on that and that it goes into the next slide. Hey, thanks everybody for being on board with us today. My name is Dave Pimper, and I've been in the business since 1981, so I've done this for a long time. 3 years of insurance, my first 3 years, and my next bunch of years, 36 years, with showing fixed indexed, and then also securities with fee-based, and I do some commission-based also. So pretty holistic in my approach. I love marketing, and I always have. I've coached for over 30 years in the business, and 15 of those have been with IAMS. I'm proprietary property to IAMS. I don't work outside of coaching unless it is an insurance agency marketing advisor. And I could probably say that one of the best things I ever did, I did this about 10 years ago, was learn Social Security. What did I know before that? Virtually nothing, nada. But I really enjoy giving advice on Social Security. Very few advisors. It doesn't make a difference if you're an Edward Jones, if you're UBS, Morgan Stanley, Northwestern Mutual, Waddell Reed. It doesn't make any difference. Only about 10-12% of all financial advisors know anything about Social Security. So it really puts us at a unique circumstance, kind of a unique premium of giving advice on Social Security. When I got into this, I called my banker, my CPA, and my lawyer that did all my trust work and will work, etc., on estates. And all of them were older than I was, so they were probably all 55 or older then. One is retired, two are still working. But I said, how much do you know about Social Security? And each one of them said very little. And I said, well, what do you do when you want to give somebody to tell them where to get advice? And they said, we give them the Social Security Administration, their address and their phone number. And the very unique thing is, you'll find out in this presentation today, Social Security Administration, the employees cannot give you advice. They're referring, they give you facts, they give you highest benefit right now, but they cannot give you advice. So I have become, here in my little town of Fremont, Nebraska, a town of 26,000. I mean, I get my share of referrals. I just got one from a banker. It was $100,000, and actually the client, I just did that this week, and it was fixed index. And what happened was that his dad sold a farm. This fellow had really, in his second wife, both their spouses are deceased, but that came from kind of a drip on Social Security. If you have any questions for your clients, I can certainly help you. So it's a pretty cool thing. It has a lot of attributes, positive attributes, when it comes to production, to know Social Security. Someone asked me one time, but do we make any money from Social Security? Per se, no, you don't. But to really understand, I went through this yesterday coaching with the fella. He said, isn't this kind of a bait and switch? You talk about Social Security, and then all of a sudden somehow you're investing money for him, or you're finding a financial strategy, insurance financial strategy to invest in. And I said, you know what? To really give a true understanding, what do you need to know? What do you need to know about Social Security? Well, you need to know what their benefit is at full retirement age. You need to know what their age is. You need to know what type of income streams they're taking right now. You need to know what their expenses are, and you certainly need to know of what their asset base is as far as investments or just ownership. Meaning, I want to know what their house is, or if they have a farm, if they got property, if they got a 401k or an IRA or a Roth IRA or life insurance proceeds, something maybe they could pull in income from, because that all is depending upon when you take your Social Security benefit, which Social Security Administration will not do. They aren't going to ask you all those personal questions. They cannot. It's illegal for them to. Not for us. We're advisors. It's a Social Security Administration employee, and we're financial advisors. We're advising them on their finances, i.e. Social Security. Also, someone, real quick before I get into the presentation, but we're talking about getting a certificate So you have some letters after your name when it comes to Social Security. I think that is just fine. Do I have one? No. Why not? I don't have the time to study and take that test. I just don't. And it makes zero difference on my pocket. If it makes you feel better that you've got some kind of letters after your name or a certificate, more power to you. Then do it. But if not, I wouldn't. Yeah, when you're coaching with me, it's kind of the real world experience, and then getting out there and talking Social Security in front of contacts, maybe through seminar marketing. Yeah, that's how you learn the most. So I'm an expert in seminar marketing. I sort of have expertise there. I got 500, and on Tuesday and Thursday next week we have a 518th and 520th public seminar that I've done since the mid '80s. Started the business in '81, and I started doing public seminars in '85. So I've done this for a long, long time. I'm currently producing. I think it's important. I haven't given up the trade. I'm hitting the bricks just like you are every single day. I try to make a complicated subject easier to understand. There's a lot of lingo when it comes to Social Security, FRA, PIA, FICA, all those kind of acronyms. But you get about 30 plus attachments from us, and you're just mimicking of what we do. I'll tell you right now, if you call yourself a retirement planner or a retirement advisor and you don't know Social Security, I think it's a misnomer. I don't see how you can say that. I can see someone calling them a financial planner, an accumulation planner. Yeah. If you're working with people in their 20s, 30s, and 40s, you don't need to know Social Security. But if you're working with people that are 55 and over, getting closer to retirement, Social Security plays a big part. Nearly 60% of all retired people said that Social Security, or people taking Social Security, said that it plays it's a major source of income. We do one-on-one coaching. I'm teaching you Social Security. If somebody comes to me and says, "Hey, I just want to learn Social Security on the own," I'm not going to do a seminar. We don't do it. I make a little money by coaching, but it certainly isn't the mainstay. My mainstay, of course, is production, just like the most of you people out there that are on the webinar. And by the way, Steve, we got a whole bunch of people on the webinar today, which is great. I guess a lot of people are home. I think a lot of people are home and being bored. That's what I think. But you know what? We're going to unbore him here in a second. We're going to talk some really cool things about Social Security, and I'm going to teach you a little bit about Social Security. So if you got a question, we're going to take off. Now I'm going to go through faster so we get this done a little bit quicker than normal. But I'm a big believer that when you're in front of people and you're actually working and asking questions and calling me, "Dave, how about this question?" And the nice thing is I can give you 99 out of 100 questions and the answers to the questions you have. But get a load of this. We have in IAMS does subsidize this to keep the pricing down low, which is wonderful for our agents. But 25 guaranteed buying units or guaranteed households. And this is whether you're in face-to-face down the road, which we'll have like we always did once they start opening up libraries and schools again, or whether it be digital. We're just finishing our second test this next week. I got a workshop on Tuesday and Thursday. We made some changes in the software that we're using, a little changes in the follow-up that we did. So we're tweaking it a bunch. We want to make sure that we're testing it before it goes on out. There are some bugs still left in it, but you know what? We'll have those bugs out of here within the next week's time period. So we're really excited to roll out a digital program that has been tested, different than a digital program that has not. With this $2,500 that's all in, you're guaranteed those buying units. So if you have only 24 buying units, no. What happens is that you're going to go in and get $100 of a cash back, or you're going to go in and get $100, off of your next seminar. Whatever. Nobody shows up. No one shows up. Well, you get all your money back. You don't see that very often. Most of the people out there, the big boys, they're probably twice that high on the type of guarantee. With that, you get 3 45-minute coaching sessions for myself and all of my attachments. You go in and get a Social Security software for 3 months. It'll cost about $30 a month after that if you want to keep it, but it's free in the beginning. I mean, I'm all step by step of everything that I do. And read this quote. It's actually on this ad. Nearly 80% of consumers would change advisors for better advice regarding their Social Security benefits. That's a fact. I can absolutely relate to that. So here we go. And those are about half of the slides, maybe a little more, maybe 60% of the slides. And we cut those down some in the actual digital workshop also. I'll tell you right now, if you can know, I mean, how much does Dave Pimper, I'm 65 years of age, how much do I really know about technology? I just learned how to send a picture on my phone about 2 months ago. But you know what? This working with digital, it was extremely easy. Launching the polls was easy. I'm telling you right now, if I can do it, anybody can do it. And so don't let that stall you, or don't let that scare you into not going in and jumping on board. Because I'll tell you right now, Donald Trump is going to start yesterday, as he said, we're going to start opening up America again, kind of leaving it to the governors. It's going to be a long haul, though. And I think that even when it opens up and libraries open, people want to go into a room with 25, 30 people. I don't know. I don't think so. If we do it, we probably will social distance. We'll probably have, chairs between each other. It's just a different time period. Digital marketing's hot right now. I can tell and we got a ton of people on the line today. I mean, a lot of people, more than we normally have on a Friday. And why is that? Because people are getting more used to going online and watching webinars and online seminars, etc. But it says the next best thing here is being wise oneself is to live in a circle of those who are, by C.S. Lewis. And I tell people, I am the circle that are tonight. I'm teaching you Social Security. We go through the Secure Act. And in that Secure Act, we are going through some specific things that affected retirement savings. And I'm debating, I may put in the CARES Act also on a slide or two to let them know just a little bit of the newness. I mean that we don't have a required minimum distribution for the year of 2020. That you can take out 100 if you've been impacted in any way by the coronavirus. That you can take $100,000 out of your 401k, your 403b, your IRA. Even if you're younger than 59 and a half, you can take it. You're still taxed, but don't have the 10% penalty, and you've got time over a pay period over years to pay those taxation, not all due in 1 year. So pretty darn. So I may include that because that's brand new information, though it's not per se Social Security, but we are in that economic, financial business. I think that 5 minutes of that might go a long, long ways, just like the slide here does on the new Secure Act that was passed January 1 of this year. So I'll say, folks, you know what you get? As I'm talking to my not the advisors on the line with me, but as the people that are in the room themselves, the seminar room, Social Security, we're really going broke. We're going to cover that. When's the best time for myself to apply? What will my benefit be? Those are all questions that you have. And then I do a stroll down memory lane. The Social Security Act started in August of 1935. Think about that. That's a long time ago, 85 years ago. Yeah. And the first check was by Ida Mae Fuller, and that was in 1940 for a little over $22. 65 was the one age you could take back then. You couldn't take early, you couldn't take late. 65. What was the average age in 1935 of Americans to live? 62. Gotta love those odds. We'll give you a check 3 years after the average person's dead. No, they don't. Social Security pays for life until you die. In 61, they lowered the age if you take the benefit, and there's a reduction. And shortly after that, they raised the age and said if you wait longer, you don't get it now, but it's increased. If you lower it, if you take it early, it's called an actuarial reduction. If you wait later, it's called a delayed retirement credit. COLAs weren't around on an annual basis until 1975, and that's when they started. Was there taxation on Social Security? No, there was no taxation on Social Security until 1983. Social Security was in trouble Ronald Reagan. Across the aisle, the Democrat Speaker of the House was Tip O'Neill. They shook hands pretty quickly on a bipartisan budget act of Social Security. Very hard for us to do that today, but it worked back then, and they started taxing if you had a made above certain levels, which we'll talk about. In '93, Bill Clinton thought if 50% of the benefits taxed, 85% would be even better. But there still is 15%, even if you're Warren Buffett himself and Social Security he's not paying tax on 15% of it. And the Bipartisan Budget Act of 2015, so 5 years ago, phased out file and suspend in 6 months. The twin sister of that is restricted application. And if you're born before January the 2nd of 1954, you can still restrict your application, there's some free money involved, which we'll talk in a little bit. Remember I said how important Social Security is? Basically 60% of retirees count on Social Security benefit as a major source of income. This is a great slide. I'm going to tell you what, this slide really hits home. Doing this one thing with your Social Security could mean losing $100,000 in retirement. It's by Janet Herron on the USA Today, was last July. Bullet point number 1, this was taken word for word from the article. How much does Social Security claiming Social Security at the wrong time cost you? Bullet point 2, retirees will lose an average of $111,000 in income per household over their lifetime. Why? Because they took Social Security benefits at the wrong time. $111,000. Just think if you went out jogging and you found $111,000, and there was a little note that said, "This is not dirty money; it's yours." Yeah, unbelievable. Only 4% of retirees took Social Security at the financially optimal age. And then I say, folks, that's why you're here today. You want to find out what is the financial optimal age. If you're single, if you're married, if you're divorced, if you're widowed, when should I take it to maximize? You're one of the 4%, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. And that's why I say this presentation is more general, but if you elect to come in on a one-on-one consultation, that's when I'll walk through your specifics. Strong. So if any questions, certainly go in and type them in, and I will answer those for you when we finished here. So Social Security 101 is this simple. You got 3 ages or dates that are important. You have full retirement age. If you're born from 1943 to 1954, your full retirement age is 66. I was born actually in April last week. I was born in April of 1955. That puts me at 65 years old. Hey, baby, I'm on Medicare. I love it. I'm saving a lot of money on my health insurance. Okay, I'm sorry. I got a little excited there. So once you turn 65, you're still not at full retirement age. You got to be to 66 if you're born from 43 to 55. I was born 1 year after that. I was 43 to 54. I was born 1 year after that at 55, so mine's 66 years and 2 months. The oldest to full retirement age is 70. 70. If your age, what happens is that if you're I'll go back on this. The oldest you can be for full retirement age is 67, but what happens, you could let your benefit grow to as far as 70, and so that gives you a bigger benefit. If you take earlier than full retirement age, get it now, but you get less. If you go for longer than full retirement age, you get more, but you can't take the benefit right now. Yeah, that's how Social Security, the basics of Social Security, does work. Okay. All right. I don't know, Steve, if you're still on the line or not. There you go. It did work. Okay. Let me see if I can go back on this real quick. Don't know why. Here. It says Social Security can have a huge value. That's right. But claiming at not at the right time, but at your right time. Is it a big benefit? Yeah. If you have a $2,000 benefit, which means you worked your whole life, had a pretty good income, at 2.8% cost of living. That's a little higher than the last 10 years, but not as high as the last 80 years or 50 years. But a $2,000 benefit at 3.8%, in 10 years it grows to over $300,000. 20 years, over about $250,000. In 30 years, $1.1 million. That's a big lifetime benefit. Now I've got 5 Social Security myths, but we only go through a couple, three of them here, but Social Security's going broke. And I heard my dad say, "Hey, you better save now because Social Security's not going to be there, Dave. When you retire, you better add to your." When I started, of course, there wasn't such a thing. Retirement plans were just in its infancy when I started in '77. But I've been a saver, and that's my dad taught me well. But Social Security is still around. There's never been a missed payment by Social Security. If I asked you, did Social Security run a surplus or a deficit last year? Surplus or deficit? Ran a surplus of the last year reported, which actually is going to be 2 years ago. Yeah, it ran a deficit. And the deficit that it ran was $3 billion. Now, $3 billion off of $1 trillion of revenue, not a barely. It may run a deficit this year. And they claim that it is going to run out of money in about the year 2035. Because of the coronavirus, I just read an article yesterday that said that it might even take 2 more years off because more people will take Social Security now and earlier because they need the money. They've been laid off. They've been furloughed. They don't have as much money coming in. Okay? Now, are there ways to shore up Social Security so it doesn't run out of money? Right now, it's supposed to run out of money. That trust fund will run out of money in 2033 to 2035. And there's all different ways, and I go through a couple of them. But you know what? Just increasing full retirement age, increasing it from 67 to 70. I read whether this is true or not, but it adds about 10 years of solvency per year for every year you go up in full retirement age. Now, I don't know if that's true, but that's what I heard. But there's a big difference. And I'll tell you what happens is, if I go to my son this weekend, so I haven't seen him for about a month because he's a reporter reporting, a news reporter reporting from his house on stories and interviews and stuff. But if I ever do see him again, and I said, Sam, this weekend, Sam, they're going to raise your full retirement age from 67 to 70. I can almost assure you his response would be something like, well, who cares, Dad? Give me another beer. He doesn't care. And remember, the third bullet point there, if you make above $137,700, there's not a lot of folks that do, but some business people, professional people, doctors, etc. But you know what happens is you don't pay into Social Security. You do to Medicare, Medicaid, but you don't into Social Security. And they're thinking about maybe they could raise that. Or there's one plan out there now that they're going to, from 137.7 maybe to 400,000. There's no Social Security, but everybody over 400,000 they pay. So I think there'll be some type of, increasing full retirement age, some kind of taxation. I'm not a big tax guy, but for more taxes. But I think that will probably be the case. It's a hot potato within the government. Nobody wants to touch it because it's pretty much a sacred cow. So facts about Social Security: it is a pay-as-you-go system. So let's just say this. Let's say you got a $2,000 check coming on in, and the trust fund goes bankrupt in 2032. Goes bankrupt. That's only 12 years away. Runs out of money. All the baby boomers are taking from it. So if you had a $2,000 check, how much would it be coming to you after this trust fund runs out of money? Most people say you'd get nothing. But they're wrong because it's a pay-as-you-go system. It's funded by payroll taxes. Yeah, 6.2% on your income paid by you, 6.2% of your income paid by the employer. If you're self-employed, like a lot of us are, we pay both ends of that. Don't we? That's right. We pay both ends of that. Now, that's about 88 or 89% of all the revenue that comes to Social Security. This is a real trick question. If I want to really know how much somebody knows about Social Security, I says, well, how is the other 11 or 12% funded in Social Security? Taxation is about half of that amount, and the interest on the bonds that are purchased, or IOUs by the government, are the other amount. Has the government borrowed on almost all of those bonds they have with IOUs? So what people say is it's a Ponzi scheme because nothing hard backs Social Security. So here's what I do. I mean, there isn't gold, there isn't silver. Nothing backs it but the full faith and credit of the U.S. government. So here's what I do. In the workshop, I say, I take a buck out of my pocket or a 20, and I say, look at what backs this dollar bill. And I'll say gold does it. That standard went away in 74. And silver does it. That went away in the 40s, the 30s or 40s. The only thing that backs this is the full faith and credit of the U.S. government. That's the exact backing of Social Security, the full faith and credit of the U.S. government. So when I go down and put gas in my car, I used to always say $40. Now I say $25. Isn't that amazing? Gas in Fremont, Nebraska yesterday, my home where I'm giving the webinar from, was $1.39. I'll never forget my dad, who none of us were smokers. I mean, I'm a cigar smoker, but not a cigarette smoker. Not the bad smoker. Yeah. But what happens is a gallon of gas was always about the same price as a pack of cigarettes. Well, cigarettes are probably about $5 a pack, and gas is $1.39. Yeah, just let you know, it won't stay down there forever. That's pretty darn low. But I'll say when I gas up my car for $25 at the quick shop, and they say, you know what, we don't accept cash anymore. It's not good here. It's not good currency anymore. Then I will be concerned about my Social Security, but not until that happens. Okay? Not much of a worry on stuff. I think Social Security is an unbelievable program by the government. Can't say that about all their programs. So you know how you figure out your benefit with Social Security? It's your earnings over your working career. They take into consideration 35 years, and it's all inflation adjusted. So just because 30 years ago you made $22,000, that might be a high income earner, back then, with an income, a COLA, cost of living allowance. And every benefit gets a cost of living allowance for Social Security. I love that dog, a long-haired dachshund with a party bib on, a hat, 1-year birthday. And this is a Nebraska joke now. And if you look closely, he's wearing a bone tie. Bad. Yeah. Yeah, remember I said if you're born from 43 to 54, your full retirement age is 66, you get your full benefit, your normal benefit. Then it stair steps 2 months per year. 1960 and later is age 67. A baby born today, full retirement age, 67. If you take early, it's reduced. If you take it 62, it's reduced 25%. Okay? If you wait longer, it's guaranteed to grow 8% a year. Where can you get a guarantee of growth, something of an investment grow 8% a year? Can't with stocks, can you? Last year up 31, this year down 15. No. Was down 30. Now it's down 15. Nope. Social Security, it's pretty amazing. Guaranteed by the full faith and credit of the U.S. government. So let's talk about spousal benefit, survivor, divorced, and restricted, okay? And kind of stay with me on this because this does get a little bit complicated, but I'll try to make it kind of simple. So first of all, if you're married with Social Security and say Dave's PIA, primary insurance amount, that's his amount at full retirement age, and Amy's PIA, primary insurance amount. So at full retirement age, Dave's $2,400 and Amy's is $1,000. They both turn it on. Can Dave take his $2,400? Yes. Can Amy take her $1,000? Yes, but she has the option. She can either take all of her benefit, her full benefit, or she can take half of Dave's, half of her spouse, whichever is higher. Of course, this is gender neutral. Makes no difference. Amy could have been the $2,400, Dave the $1,000. Most 70%, probably, or 80%, because people in the baby boomers, the man makes more than the woman. Some inequality of wages, but also a lot of women stayed home with children for a while. Yeah, what happens here, though, is Amy can go in and take $1,200, half of Dave's. What happens if Dave doesn't want to take? He wants to wait to 70, but Amy wants to take it at 66. No, she can only take $1,000. She can't take $1,200 until he takes his. Once he takes his, then she can jump up and get that top up of $200. That's the ins and outs, the basics of a spousal benefit. Okay? Let's go in and we'll talk about divorced spouse benefits. There's a lot of divorces. This is a huge benefit for a lot of divorcees. A lot of people don't take advantage of it. Remember, when's the last time you saw the Social Security Administration give a seminar? Give an online seminar about benefits? Give an in-person seminar on benefits? Can you say never? Never. Because they can't give advice. We do. We give advice. So we're not competing against Social Security Administration. They're really our advocate to go in and educate people. Here's the triple play on a divorced spouse benefit. Marriage had to at least last 10 years or longer. Current spouse is, you're currently unmarried, and your ex is at least 62. If that triple play lines up, you can use your spouse just as if you're married to them. Why is that important? Because spouses have many more options than single people. And the neat thing here is in a traditional marriage, you can't do two spousal benefits at the same time, but with divorced, you can. If it's in the benefit of each one. It doesn't affect the other person's in any single way. Survivor benefit, pretty simple. Dave's benefits $2,000, Amy's $1,200. Dave dies. I say this in my workshop. Who normally dies first, the guy or the gal in a marriage? The guy. You know why that is? He elects to. Not a bad joke, but I like to keep it light. This is such a complicated subject anyway. No matter how simple you make it or how slow you go in front of a group, almost impossible to follow you unless they really have a background on Social Security. But I try to keep it simple. I do. Yeah, Dave's benefit $2,000, Amy's $1,200. Dave dies. Amy can jump up to my benefit. She can keep hers, or she can jump up to the benefit. Now, what's really interesting is, which gives her $800 extra bucks. What's really interesting is a spousal benefit. The calculation by the Social Security Administration is done automatically. It's automatic. But to get a enhanced divorced benefit or survivor benefit, you got to ask for it. If you don't ask for it, you don't get it. It's biblical. If you don't ask, you don't receive. And I always tell, I like stories, and then we'll finish off pretty quickly so we can get done by the top of the hour and see if there's any questions. But this lady came in after a workshop, one of the very first ones I did about 10 years ago in Fremont, my little town of 26,000. And she says, Mr. Pimper, I get a kick out of when people older than me call me Mr. Pimper, you said something that really disturbed me in the workshop. I said, well, what is that? She said, you said that if you're married and your spouse is older and that spouse dies, it doesn't make a difference if it's older. If the spouse has more money, didn't say older, if it has more money in Social Security, they could jump up to their benefit. And I said, that's exactly right. And she said, well, I was told you could not do that. She was very stern, very, very teacher-like. And I said, well, who told you that? Who told you that information? She said, my brother. So her brother cost her $30,000, $500 a month. Her benefit was $1,300. Her husband, that deceased, was $1,800. $500 difference, 12 months, $6,000, 5 years, $30,000. She lost out on $30,000 because she listened to her brother. And I'll tell the crowd, don't listen to your brother on Social Security advice, or your sister, or your pastor, or your priest. Talk to someone who has expertise in Social Security claiming, like Dave Pimper. That's why so many people sign up for a consultation to find out when their best time to take is. It's pretty strong, isn't it? You're darn right. Now I'm going to go through the rest of those are actually pretty darn quick. So the Bipartisan Budget Act, if you're born before January 2nd of 54, I will just tell you, it's hard to understand, but what happens, the bigger benefit wants to delay theirs. The earlier benefit wants to take hers. Normally, you can't participate in a spousal benefit, but with restricted application, you can participate in $500 of benefit, free money, absolutely free money. It's complicated, so I'm not going to go through it right now. And fewer people are able to do it, but if it's like Cinderella slipper, if it fits, it's great. Myth number 2: if I claim Social Security benefits early and invest the income, I'll come out ahead rather than delaying the claiming. I'm telling you, for most people who don't have the discipline to invest every single month, plus where you guaranteed 5 to 8% guaranteed yearly increase from 62 to 70, plus your cost of living, nowhere. You just aren't guaranteed by the government. Is there reasons to claim early? Sure. I need the money, bad health, my family's health. But the last one there, being uninformed. I actually said to my broker-dealer being ignorant. I thought that was a little strong. But being uninformed is the worst reason to claim early. There's an annual earnings test. If you're still working and you make over $18,240, government's going to take $1 of every two away. Now you actually get it back in a stipend. They take it out quickly, and within 4 years, they give it to you over your life expectancy with no interest. Not a good deal. Unless you think you're going to die very early, you certainly shouldn't be having the government taking money away from you. Okay? But there's an annual earnings test, not taxation. Social Security myth number 3. You're going to get the biggest family benefit waiting to age 70? No, not always the case. In my family, my wife, she's 60. She took it 62. It made us the most money by her taking 62 and by myself waiting. Could delaying make good money? Could sense? Sure, it could. Kind of a pun on sense, yeah. If you have a $2,000 benefit at basically 3% cost of living, if you take it 62, goes down to $1,500. You wait to 70, goes to about $3,000. It doubles in 8 years. Where can you do that with normal money? You can't. Guaranteed by the government. Are there do-overs? Yeah. If you pay it back in the first year, there's a do-over one time. Say you start at 62 and you want to delay it, stop it at 64. Can't do it till you turn full retirement age, and you can, and earn the full retirement 8% delayed retirement credits. The retroactive benefit, if your full retirement age are over, like my gal that her brother told her, she took that advice. No, you can go in and do a retro for 6 months. So in her case, she actually didn't lose 30. She lost $27,500 per month times 6 months she could get back, and we did get that back for her. Is there taxation on Social Security? It depends. It depends on what the brackets are. Right there, if you're under 32 for provisional income, which is your adjusted gross income, half of your Social Security benefit, all of your muni bond interest. If you're under 32,000, you pay no taxes on Social Security. 32 to 44, 50% of your Social Security tax. Over 44, all of its tax. Those brackets do not go up with inflation. So when they came out in '83 with Reagan and Tip O'Neill, decided about taxation on Social Security for half of your benefit, those brackets were started. They have never gone up. So in the beginning, we hardly ever saw people. There weren't many people at all paying taxes on Social Security, but now most of my people probably pay taxes. Are there things you can do to not get into that bracket of Social Security taxation? Sure, you can have deferrals. And I don't talk about the annuity specifically because this is not a product pitch. This is an educational non-dinner seminar, either done in person or we're doing digital now after next week, after our last test. Yeah. And you can do Roth conversions. I'm a big believer in a Roth conversion right now because of interest rate, taxation rates being quite low. Social Security myth number 5, Social Security Administration will give you the best advice on how to maximize your benefit. We know that's not true. Social Security Administration cannot give advice. They can only give your highest benefit now. D, this is in their work manual for the employees of Social Security Administration. Number D, provide enough information so that claimants can make informed choices, but do not give advice. Isn't that great? It's not a standalone income stream. It's the most flexible of all income streams. Claiming at your right time, not the right time, is paramount. And there's a survivor benefit. So we've got to keep that in consideration when we're looking at what the break even is with Social Security, don't we? I call the 5 pillars of income, and I use this as a fact finder worksheet. Wages, pensions, income producing assets like 401ks, IRAs, Roths, CDs, money markets, 4 RMDs, and Social Security. Number 3 is where we make our money. It's where we start uncovering, and I'll show you how to transition from Social Security into finding assets that we're able to work with. So you probably got a lot of questions. Where do you go from here? And I talk about all the different kind of benefits up there. There's a lot to consider for your right benefit. And I use a procrastination close that if you procrastinate, procrastination is my sin. It brings me constant sorrow. You really shouldn't practice it. Perhaps I'll stop. Well, tomorrow never comes. Never comes. And I talk about Nike's slogan, most profitable shoe company in the world, just do it. I basically say to them, if you don't sign up for a consultation, you're probably not going to claim Social Security at the right time. We actually get the actual appointment that night. When I do the digital next week, I'm going to go in and get the appointment that night. We're going to call everybody back. They're going to go in. Do you want an appointment? Yes. Now on digital, we call back and then we sign the sheet. There at a live workshop, they actually put the date and the time down, and then we confirm it the next day. And then I do a George Foreman, who is a heavyweight boxer. I do a close with him for the final slide, and I just talk about how, where he made the majority of his money. It's the grill, and I say that unless you have your name on the grill, you need to mark yes on the consultation form and come in and see me. And then everybody laughs and they're feeling good, and hopefully a lot of them are signing up for appointments. So I wouldn't go through that fast. Of course, when I'm coaching you, I go much slower and dissect everything. We do story problems. Steve, if you could put up the poll, that would be great right now. But if you'd like to get more information, I'll tell you what, my business, I've got my this month is as strong as a normal. I looked back, I'm off about $1,100 from where my month was last year. That's good. And I wrote some business off the last digital seminar I did, and I've got another digital seminar, and those are tests. We're getting all the bugs out. So by the time that we coach you up and your first seminars in May or maybe even June, you know what? I don't think libraries will be open yet, but if you're not thinking about doing digital online live seminars, not recorded, but live online, give them that person night. Tell them it's live. Yeah. Be like a hostage and put the paper up and say, this is live. This is not recorded. I'll tell you right now, they're effective. And had I done those before? No, I haven't. But you gotta. IAMS was one of the very first one when I got together with Steve Murray and with our Facebook advertising guru, and we jumped on this quick. I mean, quick. But I've heard other FMOs that are rolling it out with not much success because they didn't test it, and that's what we're doing. So if you'd like to go in and talk about Social Security, learning Social Security from me, also getting in front of a lot of qualified people in a time period where people are saying it's hard to get, and I say in front of, I mean on the phone or video conference, or if you're able, like Nebraska, I still have face-to-face appointments, so not as many, of course. Most of it's done by phone now. But I tell you what, everybody is getting used to doing more things online. So I'll switch this on over to you, Steve, and see if we have any last questions.
Dave, we have a ton of questions. I'm just going to tell you that you went over some of the things a little bit more in detail, and I think that did generate some questions, some more specific questions that I think what would be best if you folks could, if you've got very specific questions about a client you're working with, about their Social Security or about Social Security that is real specific, I would say hit yes on that poll. Take a couple minutes. David, we'll actually give you a call. We'll set up a time for you to chat with Dave, and you can ask him that question there. We do have a lot of questions about what they can expect in terms of attendance at meetings, what they can expect in terms of appointments, what they can expect in terms of closings and things like that based on your experience. And I know that you've mentioned more than once that our experience on the digital workshops is relatively fresh, as is everybody's. We're probably farther down the line than most, but nobody has any real long experience with the digital workshops in this space and how they might perform. But give us, Dave, a little example from, and I think people are going to show up to digital workshops probably more readily than they'll show up to face-to-face workshops. But I think time will tell us more about that. But give us a little of your experience in your face-to-face workshops, what you saw in terms of appointments and what you saw in terms of closings from those appointments. Give us an idea of what people might be able to expect.
Sure. Yeah. When you go out, the goal here is to get 40 people to attend between two nights. And if we get 40 people, we're probably going to have, we guarantee 25 buying units, but we'll probably have 28 to 30 buying units. So let's say just 25 come though. 25 buying units come. The goal is to get half of those to have an appointment with them, a first appointment. And you're strictly talking Social Security. I think personally it's a mistake to talk about investments. And that's why I'm debating whether we should talk about the CARES Act. I mean, I do Secure Act right now, but I think we will. But I don't want to sound like it's an investment selling workshop. I don't want to do that. So 25 buying units attend. I'd like to get half of those to sign up for an appointment. That means that we're going to have, say, 12 or 13 appointments. And say we get 12 appointments. So those 12 appointments, normally you're going to find money that they would be open to you to show them a proposal. And so half of those go to second appointments. And then I do a third appointment where I actually close. The reason I have an extra appointment, a lot of people do it in two. The first appointment, you're talking a lot about Social Security, because that's their big interest. So, and of that, if you have, from 25 buying units or households to 12 appointments to 6 people, you like to close a third to a half of those people. So from 1 to 3 of those people or households will become clients. And that's what we've averaged. And I did write business last time. It was a smaller amount, but we made some changes. We think it's going to be bigger this time, and then bigger yet again. That's when we're rolling it out to the complete sales force. But I'll tell you right now, a lot of people are just in the corner and proverbially sucking their thumb. Hey, Steve, is that actually a word? Or
It is. I'm not sure if you're saying it exactly right. You might be stumbling.
Well, you know what? At my age, I start rolling. Yeah, but Well, what happens is they're kind of in the corner sucking their thumb, thinking, "Oh my gosh, this is horrible. Can't get in front of people." No, we're being proactive. You can be reactive, or in marketing and being an advisor, you can be proactive. And the proactive marketers right now are going to come out of this smelling like a rose. I'm going to tell you right now, there's a lot less competition now more than ever, because the regular kind of the marketing supply chains, let's call them, because we hear that word all the time now with the coronavirus, people aren't taking advantage. We're really excited. I'm telling you right now, we're going to keep our people employed. And you know what? Will America open it up again? Yes, it will. But it's going to take some time. It really, really will. I expect this in the summer that libraries will open, and I think we will do some face-to-face workshop, but they'll be limited in number, and we'll have 1 or 2 seats between everybody, so we'll keep the 6-foot distancing rule. It will change. That isn't the case. They can go in and watch this right from the couch, right from their bedroom, in their PJs if they want to. But it's I'm telling you right now, it's keeping me employed, and it should keep you employed in this unique time period also.
Dave, we have a couple of questions about what's it take to do a digital workshop, and I think what they're asking is, like, what do you need? And so you've done a few, so tell us a little bit about how you had to get your system set up to do a good digital workshop.
Yeah, we supply the software, which it would cost you anywhere from you can get some cheap ones for free, but normally it costs you from $50 to $100 a month. We're paying for that. We spent thousands of dollars. We've invested. IAMS has in our Facebook guru. They've spent a lot of their money to go in and buy the system. So we have the software. We did use Zoom in the beginning. We were not happy. We had trouble downloading. The system we got now takes no download. They click a link, they're in. It's beautiful. It is, and it's Zoom. You're hearing Zoom all the time, but I'll tell you, this system is twice of what Zoom is, and that's why I think our numbers are going to go up much easier. I mean, it's just easy peasy, to use. And so what happens though? You need some. You can use the mic off of your computer, but I would not. I would be mic'd up. Okay, so you can go in and I do a radio show because I got a professional mic, but you can go down to Staples or Walmart and for $20 buy a pair of headphones with a little mic in it, a movable mic, and then you need to go in. You could use the camera from your computer, but for $30 you can buy a camera, a 1080 DPI camera, which I did. Cost me $34 from Staples, and it worked out just fine. And, we're having a workshop on this Tuesday and this Thursday. If you'd like to go in and sign up for that, we can certainly get you on the sign up. So if you talk to me in person, then we can talk and we can get you signed up. A lot of advisors are watching that also to see the quality and kind of the format of that. So that's all you need. And you need some kind of a computer. I mean, you got a computer. So most people have laptops, but you can certainly use a regular CPU, in a computer. and it's again, it's pretty easy. If Dave Pimper can do it, I'm telling you what. I'm 65 years old. I mean, when I was a freshman in college, for one more credit hour, I could have took Fortran, whatever that is with computer programming. Yeah, for one more hour. And of course, I said, heck with that. I'm not. Who's ever going to be using computers at home, which everybody does now? But pretty easy. It really is.
Yep. I should mention too, we've got a little incentive going right now where we'll get you your camera and mic set up as well. So.
Oh, that's nice. Well, say that again, Steve, because that's kind of a big deal. I mean, it saves them. So you'll go and get them. You said you'll get them what now?
We will get them set up, kind of a digital setup. And I'm sorry, I'm having a little trouble with my voice, but we'll get you a digital setup. So you've got a standalone camera, you've got a standalone mic. We'll walk you through the setup. We'll have our creative team walk you through the setup. So if that's of interest, let me know, and I'll be glad to get you out a flyer on that and let you have a peek at it.
Well, darn.
It'll be first rate. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's cool. Well, thanks for keeping me informed on that too. Okay, Steve, I appreciate that. What a great deal. Yeah, so that is paid for then. That's wonderful. Yeah. Wonderful. Yeah, so we'll certainly get you the details if you have interest on that.
Looks like that's all the questions that we have that are not pretty private. I'm just looking at the people that registered. It looks like everybody that registered to have a quick conversation with you that had longer questions have done so.
Okay.
So I think we'll get you all covered that way. David, I appreciate you taking a couple of minutes here this morning to join in. I know you've got still a pretty good appointment calendar going. Congratulations on that, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, taking some time out of your day. We appreciate that. Mostly, I want to thank the attendees today. That's a great, we had a huge group, which
we did.
In some ways doesn't surprise me, but in other ways, I mean, the fact that you're still looking for ways to help your clients means a lot to us here at IAMS. We're going to go the extra mile for folks like you that hold their clients and helping their clients in such high regard. You're exactly the kind of people that we want to work with. So whatever we can do to help you, I hope you'll let us know. Again, the number here is 800-255-5055. Appreciate you giving me a call if you want to have another question for Dave that we didn't get answered, or if you have any questions about anything that we talked about today. Dave, is there anything that you want to say before we close up this morning besides stay safe and keep well?
Yeah, be safe and social distance and hopefully your golf courses are still open to play a little golf, but I'll tell you right now, this will pass. It's going to take some time. This will pass, but marketing's important. And I'll tell you right now, this is a very, very calculated, neat way with a guarantee to market for prospects. So hopefully we'll talk to a lot of folks.
Great stuff, Dave, as always. And I don't know how you expect anybody to golf with 7 inches of snow on the ground.
Yeah, that's why we got 7 inches last night, you guys. Is that just bizarre or what? It's supposed to be 67 degrees on Saturday tomorrow, Steve.
Yeah, it'll be a sloppy golf course.
Yeah, that's okay. Sloppy's better than no golf course. Yeah, that's right.
Thank you, everybody, for attending. Thank you, David, and looking forward to great days ahead together. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.